Good evening, and thank you for joining us for this special global report. In a rapidly changing world where political decisions can influence economies, technology, and security across continents, a new diplomatic development has captured the attention of governments, analysts, and international observers. What began as a routine series of meetings has quickly evolved into a moment that many believe could shape the next phase of global power dynamics. Over the past several days, senior officials from the United States and China have been engaged in high-level discussions aimed at easing tensions between the world's two largest economies. The meetings, which brought together influential policymakers and economic strategists, are widely seen as an effort to stabilize relations and open the door for a possible summit between national leaders later this month. For years, relations between Washington and Beijing have been defined by a complex mix of cooperation and competition. Trade disputes, technological rivalry, security concerns, and geopolitical influence have all contributed to a relationship that analysts often describe as one of the most consequential in modern international politics. At the heart of the latest discussions is a shared recognition that global stability increasingly depends on the ability of major powers to manage disagreements without allowing them to spiral into broader confrontation. Officials on both sides have emphasized that communication remains essential, particularly at a time when the global economy is navigating uncertainty and rapid technological transformation. According to diplomatic observers, the tone of the recent meetings has been cautious but constructive. Delegations from both countries reportedly discussed several key issues that have shaped tensions in recent years, including tariffs, supply chains, access to critical technologies, and the future of industrial cooperation. While neither side has announced a major breakthrough, analysts say the mere continuation of dialogue signals an important step. In international diplomacy, maintaining communication channels often plays a critical role in preventing misunderstandings and reducing the risk of escalation. The discussions are also taking place against the backdrop of profound global change. Advances in artificial intelligence, semiconductor technology, and digital infrastructure are redefining economic power in the 21st century. Governments around the world are investing billions of dollars into innovation as they seek to maintain competitiveness in an increasingly technology-driven global economy. For policymakers in both Washington and Beijing, the challenge lies in balancing national interests with the need for global cooperation. On one hand, leaders are under pressure to protect domestic industries and maintain strategic advantages. On the other, they must recognize that many of the world's most pressing challenges, from climate change to cybersecurity, cannot be addressed without international collaboration. Economic analysts note that the relationship between the United States and China carries enormous implications for markets and businesses worldwide. Supply chains stretching across continents rely on stability between the two powers, and sudden disruptions could affect everything from manufacturing and technology production to consumer prices. Companies operating in sectors such as electronics, automotive manufacturing, and advanced computing are watching developments closely. Many of these industries depend on complex international networks that link research laboratories, manufacturing centers, and global distribution systems. Beyond economics, the geopolitical dimension of the relationship is equally significant. Both countries hold substantial influence within international institutions and regional alliances. Their strategic decisions can affect security arrangements in Asia, trade partnerships in Europe, and development initiatives across Africa and Latin America. Military analysts also point out that the broader security environment has become increasingly complex. Advances in cyber capabilities, space technology, and autonomous systems are reshaping the nature of modern defense strategies. In this environment, transparency and communication between major powers can help reduce uncertainty and prevent unintended escalation. Diplomats involved in the recent talks have repeatedly stressed that diplomacy is not about eliminating competition, but about managing it responsibly. Rivalries between powerful nations have existed throughout history, but the goal of modern diplomacy is to ensure that competition does not lead to instability or conflict. Observers say that the coming weeks may prove particularly important. Preparations are reportedly underway for additional meetings and potential leader-level discussions that could clarify the direction of future relations. If such a summit takes place, it would represent one of the most closely watched diplomatic events of the year. Leaders would have the opportunity to outline priorities, address areas of disagreement, and explore possibilities for cooperation in areas such as economic stability, global health, and emerging technologies. At the same time, expectations remain measured. Experts caution that resolving deep structural differences between the two powers will require sustained dialogue and long-term engagement rather than a single round of negotiations. Public opinion in both countries also plays a role in shaping diplomatic strategies. Citizens, businesses, and political leaders all bring different perspectives on how relations should evolve. In democratic systems especially, policymakers must balance international objectives with domestic priorities. Around the world, other governments are monitoring the situation with great interest. Many countries maintain close economic or strategic ties with both Washington and Beijing, making stability between the two powers particularly important. For smaller economies and developing nations, the outcome of these diplomatic efforts could influence trade opportunities, investment flows, and access to technology. A stable global environment often provides the conditions necessary for growth and innovation. International organizations have also emphasized the importance of continued dialogue. Institutions focused on economic development, security cooperation, and global governance frequently encourage major powers to maintain open channels of communication. In an era where information travels instantly and financial markets react within seconds to geopolitical signals, diplomatic stability has become more valuable than ever. Even subtle changes in tone or policy direction can influence investor confidence and global economic expectations. For this reason, analysts say that the current round of discussions should not be viewed as a single isolated event, but rather as part of a broader process aimed at managing one of the most complex relationships in international affairs. Despite the challenges, many experts remain cautiously optimistic. History has shown that sustained diplomatic engagement can gradually reduce tensions and build frameworks for cooperation, even between nations with significant strategic differences. Ultimately, the success of these efforts will depend on the willingness of leaders to prioritize dialogue, transparency, and pragmatic solutions over confrontation. In a world increasingly shaped by interconnected economies and shared global challenges, collaboration between major powers may prove essential for maintaining long-term stability. For now, the international community continues to watch closely as developments unfold. Governments, businesses, and citizens alike understand that decisions made in diplomatic conference rooms today may influence global conditions for years to come. As always, we will continue to follow these developments and bring you the latest updates and expert analysis as more information becomes available. Thank you for joining us for this in-depth report, and stay tuned for continuing coverage as this important global story continues to develop.